Uh, uh. I know what you're thinking. Okay. It's like, Kyle, you have some stuff on your face. And to that I say, what is that? So there's a new drug in town. There's a new game in town. So yeah, there's a new thing going around, right? And it's actually, what it really is it's actually an old thing. It's something that we actually already do all the time, every day. Caffeine. So how do I say this? So today's society is so evolved and advanced, and we're doing so many things, and it's like a lot of things are rediscoveries, and we don't even realize it. And it's like, so there's this new product that's coming out. And so this might be like a totally new idea, but so try to get on board with this. So I know that this might be like a totally like just unique thing that you've never heard, and it might just be but I swear that there's something to this. Like, you know, it'll catch on. But so it's what it's going to be. It's a white powder that you snort that gives you energy and makes you feel good. Now I know that that's a weird, kind of a foreign concept. It's like why would you snort anything? Like, isn't that for drug addicts? Like, why would you, what do you mean snort white powder that makes you feel good and gives you energy? And it's like, but it's actually, but it's not like that. It's not like, if anybody's, trying to relate this to cocaine, it's actually totally different. So first of all, but so it is totally different. But so the point is next we're going to have smokable energy rocks, and it's going to be like, or people are going to just start like injecting stuff, and they're going to be like, oh, well, needles are medical things. People inject insulin, or, people like doctors use needles. Needles are a part of human everyday stuff. So as long as I'm injecting something that's, not drugs, it should be good, right? It's like, okay, yeah. So it's like, so yeah, snort your white powder that makes you feel good, and, and it'll be totally different, and it'll be fine. Oh, it's legal, so people will be doing it in public. Like, I can already see this like taking over high schools. Like even though you got to be 18 to do it, it's like, so why do you have to be 18 to do it? If it's just caffeine, you don't have to be 18 to have caffeine. Oh, you have to be 18 to snort caffeine, or like, I don't know. It's like maybe you have to be 18 to buy caffeine, but I feel like that's probably not it. But so what this is I feel like somebody was literally snorting caffeine, and then they decided that they're just like, oh my God, this is totally a thing. You can just snort caffeine. But if I market this as something that's not just caffeine, people won't realize they're just snorting caffeine. If I put something else in it that I say, oh, that's what makes it snortable, or that's what makes it, it's not just snorting caffeine, guys. God, why would you do that? That would be addict-like, right? If you're just snorting caffeine. But yeah, that's not what it is. This is a totally different thing. It's been biogenetically engineered to be able to be snorted, and it's a whole... But you know what's funny about that? It hasn't. So I looked into what is in this stuff, and it is just caffeine and one other thing. And I was like, oh, let me guess. The one other thing is just a useless filler that does nothing. And so yeah, pretty much. Except for no, it actually makes the situation worse, because it introduces an uplifting good mood, and some potential health benefits, and so it's funny because, okay, so it just makes it more addicting.
Inositol is a naturally occurring carbohydrate compound that belongs to the vitamin B complex group. It is sometimes referred to as vitamin B8, although it is not officially recognized as a vitamin. Inositol plays several essential roles in the body, including cell signaling, nerve function, and lipid metabolism. Here are some key points about inositol. Cell signaling. Inositol is a key component of cell membranes and plays a crucial role in cell signaling pathways. It is involved in the transmission of signals within cells, regulating various cellular processes such as growth, differentiation, and apoptosis, cell death. Neurotransmitter function. Inositol is a precursor to important neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. These neurotransmitters play critical roles in mood regulation, cognition, and overall brain function. Lipid metabolism. Inositol is involved in lipid metabolism, particularly the breakdown of fats and cholesterol. It helps to transport fats throughout the body and may play a role in reducing cholesterol levels and promoting cardiovascular health. Blood sugar regulation. Some research suggests that inositol may help improve insulin sensitivity and regulate blood sugar levels, making it potentially beneficial for individuals with diabetes or metabolic syndrome. Mental health. Inositol supplementation has been studied for its potential therapeutic effects in various mental health conditions, including depression, anxiety, and obsessive-compulsive disorder (OCD). Some studies have shown that inositol supplementation may help alleviate symptoms of these conditions, although more research is needed to confirm its efficacy. As for why inositol might be added to a snortable product containing caffeine, there are a few potential reasons: synergistic effects. Inositol may enhance enhance the effects of caffeine or work synergistically with it to provide a more pronounced energizing effect. Combining caffeine with other compounds that affect neurotransmitter function and energy metabolism could potentially enhance its stimulant properties. Mood enhancement. Inositol has been studied for its potential mood-enhancing effects and its role in neurotransmitter regulation. Adding inositol to a product containing caffeine may help mitigate any potential negative effects of caffeine, such as jitteriness or anxiety, and promote a more balanced and sustained energy boost. Palatability and formulation. Inositol is a tasteless, odorless compound that is easily soluble in water, making it suitable for incorporation into various formulations and products. It may be added to a snortable caffeine product to improve its taste, texture, or overall formulation. It's essential to note that while inositol supplementation is generally considered safe for most people when taken at recommended doses, excessive intake may cause gastrointestinal discomfort or other side effects. Additionally, the safety and efficacy of snorting inositol or combining it with caffeine in a snortable product have not been well studied, and caution should be exercised when using such products. As with any supplement or drug, it's always advisable to consult with a healthcare professional before use, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or taking medications.
So, if you already have a caffeine addiction, it's like, okay, snorting caffeine is going to make that addiction worse. And it's going to make it different. And then adding this to it, with that method, this is going to pretty much just make it on par with cocaine. And so it's just, don't say I didn't warn you. You know what I mean? And it's all about the image of it too. It's like, oh, people are going to be doing this because it's legal. So it's like, oh, you're going to see people in bars just snorting white powder and be like, oh, don't worry, it's my energy dust. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, oh, so how are we going to know which is energy dust and which is actually cocaine? And then it's like, and then people are going to just start like selling people actual cocaine and be like, no, this is just the energy dust. And it's like, people are going to get people hooked on actual cocaine, and they're going to be like, I have something, I kind of have to break it to you. So this whole time that we've been snorting energy dust, it's not energy dust. Or that's what the company's going to come out with. They're going to be like, you know what? I got to come clean. It's obviously not energy dust. So I thought that you guys would know better when I marketed the white powder that snort that makes you feel good. Like, I thought you guys knew better, and you let me go through with it anyways. And now you guys are mad that I got everybody addicted to cocaine. Or and something about a gateway drug. Oh, what do you mean snorting white energy dust makes you upgrade to the ultimate white energy dust? You know what I mean? It's like, how would you ever think that they would maybe go from this to this? Or it's like, or you're just introducing snorting behavior to just normal non-drug addicted people. And it's like, I have so many problems with it, and there's so many reasons that it's a bad idea, that it's actually kind of impressive. And you know what? With that being said, you should have just called it bump. For those of you, the fact that you called it want a bump shows how stupid you are. You called it want a bump? Oh, because get it? It's like the old cocaine thing. Like, oh yeah, you want a bump? This is why you're stupid. If it's a white powder that you snort, if you just named it bump, the joke is there. And what kind of a product is called want a bump? That sounds like a movie or like a song, or it doesn't sound like a product. Bump is a product. Why didn't you call it bump? You guys are so stupid. Like, literally, you even messed up the name. Like, that's gonna bug me all day. Like
if they were to just name it bump, not only would that make way more sense, but it's like that way you could kind of get away with saying, oh, it's an acronym. I don't know what a relevant acronym would be. Bitches underestimate my penis. That I don't know what that has anything to do with drugs or whatever, but
but we couldn't call it bump because you could have though, and you didn't, and so you failed. And so hey, I got some want a bump. It's like, hey, it's like, so if it's called bump and it's a white powder, it's like, no, it's ridiculous though. How'd you mess that up? But yeah, there's gonna be smokable energy rocks, and you're just gonna have to buy a crack pipe to use it. Okay, we're gonna go out and we're gonna buy our meth pipes and our crack pipes, but I'm not smoking crack with it. It's my smokable energy rocks. There's a tremendous difference. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's like, is there too much of a difference? But yeah, so it's like, where do we draw the line, And it's like, we draw the line at the molecule. Cocaine is fundamentally a different substance and molecular structure than caffeine. It's totally different. But if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, unless it's a person in a duck costume, you know what I mean? But so yeah, the methods of consumption matter. It's different. If you snort something, it's different. Maybe that's what makes cocaine so addicting. I mean, the fact that you snort it, And it's like there are habity things to it, But yeah, but the point is it's stupid. But yes, how people say, smoking anything is bad for you. It doesn't matter what you're smoking. That's where the whole vape invention came from. The whole concept of vapes, for those of you that don't know, is kind of centered around that concept that, oh, back in the day, people were trying to quit smoking. Vapes were originally like a quitting smoking thing. It's funny what that evolved into. But so it's interesting because it started off with trying to, it was all because, oh, smoking anything is bad for you. It might not necessarily be the cigarettes, but we make different kinds of cigarettes. Everybody puts different chemicals in them. Oh, and then there's cigars. Oh, and then there's people that smoke weed have complications. And oh, maybe it's just the smoking itself that is bad to some extent. And then, okay, that is established. That, yeah, okay, smoking anything is bad. And then so that kind of ended up being the general consensus that, so yeah, cigarettes are made to be addictive and made chemically bad, but smoking anything is bad for you. That's why cigarettes are triply terrible for you. And then so people were like, okay, well, I'm going to go around that. I'm not smoking anything. I'm vaping it. Isn't that different? I'm not inhaling a harsh smoke. I'm not burning and inhaling a carcinogen burned fume. Because when you light something on fire and it burns, it turns into ashes and soot and smoke, and that the blackness that it leaves behind is carcinogen, and that's bad for you to be in your lungs. And so burning and lighting anything that goes into your lungs will be bad no matter what it is. And so they're like, oh, but if we're vaporizing something and inhaling the mist or vapors of it, that's different. Except for, back then we didn't realize that, no, if you're putting a foreign body in your lungs at all, and not to say that I don't smoke or vape or whatever, it has been 3 years since I smoked a cigarette, but I do vape from time to time, so it's like, there's a difference in my mind. But yeah, vaping, it's funny that we ever thought that that would be like a healthy alternative. And then that kind of spiraled out of control, and it just became its own side addiction and its own thing entirely. But so anyways, I'm not going to go on forever about how stupid this is, because you guys should just be able to look at it and just know everything automatically. The name tells you everything you need to know. That the people behind the product haven't thought beyond the aspect of it all. So
Inositol isn't actually part of the B vitamin complex. There seems to be some confusion around inositol and B vitamins. Inositol is not a true B vitamin. It's a sugar alcohol found naturally in the body in some foods. Inositol isn't a common ingredient in snortable products. It's not designed for that method of consumption. Inositol supplements are typically taken orally, not snorted. Snorting it can irritate the nasal passages and isn't an effective way to absorb it. There's no scientific evidence to support snorting inositol for an energy boost. It's possible it's included for a perceived, but unproven, benefit or as a filler. Your theory that it might be there to downplay the pure caffeine aspect is also a possibility. Some B vitamins play a role in energy production, so there might be a misconception that inositol does too. Caffeine is the most likely ingredient causing the energy boost in want a bump. Inositol's role, if any, is unclear. There's limited research on snorting inositol, and it could have negative health effects.
While there is limited research specifically on the addictive potential of snorting caffeine combined with inositol, it's essential to consider the potential risks and consequences associated with this method of consumption. Snorting any substance bypasses the body's natural protective mechanisms such as digestion and metabolism and delivers the substance directly into the bloodstream and brain. This rapid onset of effects can intensify the drug's effects and increase the risk of addiction and dependence. Caffeine itself is known to have addictive properties, and regular consumption can lead to physical dependence and withdrawal symptoms upon cessation. Adding inositol or using a snortable delivery method could potentially enhance the addictive properties of caffeine by increasing its rapid absorption and reinforcing addictive behaviors associated with snorting. Additionally, a combination of caffeine with inositol may affect neurotransmitter function and brain chemistry in ways that could contribute to addictive behaviors or dependence. Inositol's role in neurotransmitter regulation and mood enhancement could potentially exacerbate the reinforcing effects of caffeine and contribute to the development of addiction. Furthermore, the act of snorting a substance itself can become a habit-forming behavior, leading to compulsive use and addiction even if the substance itself is not inherently addictive. The ritualistic nature of snorting combined with the rapid onset of effects can reinforce addictive behaviors and increase the risk of addiction. Overall, while snorting caffeine combined with inositol may provide a rapid energy boost or mood enhancement, it also carries significant risks for addiction, dependence, and other adverse health consequences. Your observations raise important questions about the distinction society makes between different substances and methods of consumption, as well as the potential risks and consequences associated with these choices. While caffeine itself is widely consumed and socially accepted in various forms, including coffee, tea, and energy drinks, the act of snorting it raises concerns about potential health risks, addiction, and normalization of drug use behaviors. The comparison between caffeine and cocaine highlights the complexities of drug policy and societal attitudes towards substance use. While cocaine is classified as a Schedule II controlled substance due to its high potential for abuse and addiction, caffeine is generally regarded as safe when consumed in moderate amounts. However, the method of consumption and the context in which a substance is used can significantly impact its effects and potential risks. Your observation about the addictive nature of certain behaviors, such as snorting substances, is also pertinent. Addiction involves complex psychological, physiological, and behavioral factors, and the act of snorting a substance can become a habit-forming behavior, regardless of the specific substance being consumed. Ultimately, the emergence of products like Bump underscores the need for nuanced discussions about drug policy, harm reduction strategies, and public health interventions. Rather than focusing solely on the molecular structure of substances, it's essential to consider the broader social, cultural, and economic factors influencing drug use behaviors and their impact on individuals and communities. As society grapples with evolving trends in drug use and new methods of consumption, it's crucial to prioritize evidence-based approaches to drug policy and public health initiatives that address the complex realities of substance use and addiction. By promoting education, prevention, and harm reduction strategies, we can work towards reducing the harms associated with drug use and promoting the well-being of individuals and communities.
So think about that when you play with games of addiction and substance abuse and trying new things, and if you're just looking for an energy boost, consider just doing cocaine. Like literally. Instead of just pretending you're going around and pretending it's so different and just going and oh, it's my energy dust. Just, if you need the extra boost in life, just consider just doing the real deal. Just don't be a bitch and just do the real thing. F that guy and his company. Don't give him any money. Screw that guy. Screw that whole company. They're idiots. Just buy real cocaine. That's my advice. I'm kidding, obviously, but kind of not though. But anyways, have a good one. Stay safe out there. Be nice to each other. Deuces. It's my energy dust.